Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, guys. It's Alec coming to you with another video. We're in the shop working on the Turbo GMC again today. Not super motivated to be here, but we're here anyways, and we're going to try and keep plugging away at the list. So thank you for tuning into this video. I really appreciate you guys watching, and thanks to everyone that leaves a like and wants to keep watching this project and leaves a subscribe. So I'm really happy about that. Today, we're going to work on some easier stuff because, like I said, the motivation's a little low, but we're just going to plug through. So I'm going to put some vinyl on that other fender because I want the truck to be one color other than the tailgate, which I got the tailgate at home. So I'd like to get some vinyl on that fender. I also think that we can get the shift cable knocked out pretty easy because I do have the bracket that I believe is the correct one now. And so we can get that knocked out so the truck can actually go from park to drive maybe. And then the last thing that I have on my easy list is the transmission dipstick level. I'm using an aftermarket dipstick and I need to confirm that the full on the dipstick is actually going to be the full for the transmission. So I need to kind of run it basically. There's two ways to do it. You run it on the outside and kind of get it pretty close, or you can drop the pan and mark it that way too. I got 12 quarts in there, so I am not dropping the pan. We're going to get it close from the outside. So about ½ inch above where the transmission pan kind of meets up to the transmission body is where you kind of want it. So we're going to run that on the outside, tape it around, get it as close as possible, and mark that too. So those are three of the things that are easy on my list right here. The other thing I'm going to get taken care of today is I am going to cut that intercooler pipe that you saw from the last video. And I'm going to get that so that it can bolt on. We can be done with cold side piping and get that knocked off the list. So those are a couple things you're going to see me working on. I'm going to get to work, and I'll check in with you in a little bit. Today we had Bailey over to help us out a little bit and give a second set of hands. So one of the first things we decided to tackle was adjusting the transmission dipstick that I'm using, which is an aftermarket dipstick, and it kind of looks like an AN line, and that needs to be adjusted about ½ inch above your pan level. And so got that taken care of. Overall, trimming that tube was really easy. I just used a pair of diagonal cutters and set the set screw. As you can see here, I'm using a deburring bit to give a little clearance on this shifter cable bracket because with the huge performance transmission pan, it does use up just a little bit more room, and I was having a little bit of issues with the weights on the front drive shaft and this bracket. After we got that bracket trimmed up and installed, we decided to finish out the aesthetics of the sides of the truck with some more black vinyl. I've been really wanting to get this truck all one color and just kind of have it look nice for some of the cover photos. So moved on to that, and Bailey's never really wrapped anything before, so I wanted to show him kind of some of the things that I've taught myself over the years from doing some of the vinyl wrap that I've done. And so he picked it up pretty good. It definitely helps to have more than one person moving those bigger sheets around, especially for like what we did here with the fender. If you can have a second set of hands, it doesn't necessarily need to be a set of skilled hands, but just to hold it in place kind of as you're pushing it down and moving the material around, and to help you kind of watch for ripples and watch for any creases or anything like that. And if they need to, you can see as Bailey's working, I'm holding the heat gun and kind of helping him do that too. We got that pretty well licked, and I was really happy with the way that it turned out. This fender, the paint underneath it was in a little bit better shape than the other one. That paint being in better shape definitely helped the vinyl turn out better too. So here we are using the heat gun and kind of finishing out the edges of the vinyl. If you've ever wrapped anything before or watched people wrap, most of your strength or sturdiness in the vinyl does come from having the edges wrapped, and it definitely prevents things from peeling as this wrap goes through its life. Alrighty, we're knocking out the low motivation board on the right side here today. So as you just saw in the time lapse, Bailey and I knocked out some vinyl on this thing. We got the shift cable all figured out and it is working. Fuel cap, I'm going to show you that here in just a second. We got the blow off valve on, the dipstick is figured out, and the fuel level sensor is working. So that's kind of some of the stuff I'm going to show you over here. This is the driver's side fender. Threw a little vinyl on that guy, and it turned out really good. This was actually a little bit better vinyl than what I used on the other side. And you can see that there's pretty much no bubbles or imperfections on it. Had my best intern do it, so he did a great job. Maybe it's his teacher, I'm not sure. But that looks really good, and I'm excited to have the front end and both sides of the truck completely black. So the other thing that we got done, we threw on the blow-off valve, which was a challenge in itself, but everything is on this thing. The clamp ended up like twisting in itself, and then for some reason the nut like got almost like welded to itself. Not sure what happened there, but it's on, and you don't really need the rest of the story. The other thing, we got the transmission dipstick adjusted so that it shows the correct fluid level on it. So I had to cut about an inch off of that. There's a set screw so you can set the handle, and got it so that it's about ½ inch above the pan, and there's about an inch to work with there. So that's all figured out. So some of the other stuff that consumed a little bit of time, we got the shifter cable in and the bracket on, which required a little bit of ingenuity because you can see how close the weights on the drive shaft are to that bracket. So we had to do a little trimming on the side that's closest to the pan and get that to work, but it is on there. The other thing that we did is cleaned up some of the wiring above the transfer case and kind of got it all zip tied out of the way so that it's not gonna rub on anything. And then back here, here's some of the leftovers from like the evaporative system and the charcoal canister. And as you can see, I didn't want any fuel coming out of those, so threw a little vacuum plug, which are fuel safe, and an Oetiker clamp up there. And then in the back of the tank back here, pulled it off and threw one on there too. So that's all cleaned up, and I'm not super worried about fuel coming out of those now when I'm filling it up. And it doesn't smell like gas in here as much, which is nice. So hopefully that doesn't cause me any problems with filling up at the pump. I don't think it will, but might be a race truck thing, so we might just fill it up with gas cans. I'm not sure. One of the last things that we learned, and this is what I kind of told you guys before, where it's like every week I just find the next snag that I run into, but so here's the O2 sensor wiring from the stock truck, and you can see that's a female connector, and this is the chassis harness, this is the truck's harness. Now, the O2 sensors that came in this Y-pipe from the previous owner, a little weird, but they're also female, and so I'm not sure what's going on here, but I have 2 O2 sensors on the truck. The other one is up there, but I got 2 of them that are female, and the truck has female. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I guess maybe they switched O2 sensors from like 04 to 05 or something like that. But I need to find the correct O2 sensors. Alrighty guys, well that's about where we're gonna call it for today. Here's the fender on the truck, looks awesome, all black. And Bailey helped me out. He did an awesome job kind of for his first time throwing vinyl down. So this is where we're gonna leave it for today. Thank you so much for watching. It's the small stuff that consumes so much of your time on these builds. And we're really close to having the intercooler piping done and all that stuff. So thanks again for watching. If you like what you saw, leave a subscribe. And until I see you next time, peace.